What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Sports Junkies Podcast. NBA topic for you today. You know we're here with JT.
Let's go.
You know we're here with JT. We got some interesting topics for you today. It's been a little dry in the NBA, but we're gonna talk about it anyway. We got Andre Drummond to the Lakers. That's not officially going to happen, but it's a possibility because I feel like right now it's the best fit for him. We got to talk about that Embiid injury down the stretch of the 76ers season. How important is that? How could it, potentially impact this team? And then we'll get into the Rookie of the Year a little bit. We'll debate the Rookie of the Year a little bit. I don't know if it's really going to be a debate, but we'll see. But I think we got to start talking about Embiid, man. When I look at this Embiid injury, it kind of brings me to the same point I said about Anthony Davis a week ago. I said, look, Anthony Davis being out this late in the season down the stretch when I feel like a team builds its best chemistry, not having that key component on your team is going to be a big problem for this team, and I really feel like it'll hurt them. And that's going to be the same when we talk about Embiid. Embiid is an MVP favorite right now. He is the MVP favorite in the league. He's having possibly the best season in the NBA right now, and not having him is definitely going to be a problem. When you talk about the 76ers chemistry, I mean, who else they got on that team that's going to drop 30 points a night?
Consistently?
Ben Simmons.
I mean, consistently, though.
You know what I'm saying? It's definitely going to hurt the 76ers, and we're talking about chemistry. This is going to drop their chemistry. I feel like this injury puts the 76ers in the same situation that they're always in. That playoffs, no chemistry in the playoffs because they've always got these teams dealing with injuries down the stretch.
Right.
Last year was Ben Simmons. Now it's just Joel Embiid. They've got they got this problem, man. They got to really fix this injury problem they have. And even with the half season, it seems like they're still dealing with it. So it's definitely hurting them a lot. It's definitely building up.
I'm not really, it sucks that he's out right now because I think he's out for 3 weeks as of now. But I wouldn't be very worried if I'm the 76ers. I mean, they're ranked very high. They're in the East. So losing Embiid isn't really going to affect them that much on the season. They might start to lose some games, and that definitely might hurt them. But when it comes to actually the season, I do think that it's not going to take a toll. I mean, I think it's almost possible if they were to lose half of their games until Embiid comes back, they'll still make the NBA playoffs. So I don't think they're really worried about that.
I'm not worried about them missing the playoffs, especially not in the East. Come on.
Right.
They're 8 games and a half, and I think there's only 10 games left.
Right.
The Hawks just moved into the playoffs with a 19-20 record. Come on. But yeah, I'm not worried about them missing the playoffs at all. I'm worried about the chemistry they take into the playoffs. Like I said, this is a big stretch for them. They've won 5 straight. This team is not they got the Nets behind. The big factor for the 76ers is getting home court advantage. But I don't know how big that is in basketball. But for the 76ers, it's very big because they're 17-3 at home and they're 10-9 away. So it's a big factor for them. So they need to lock up that number 1 seed, I feel like, to have the best chance. And then we're talking about once again, we're on the chemistry. I'm not worried about Embiid missing right now. I know for sure this team's going to make the playoffs. It's impossible that they miss the playoffs.
Right.
The problem right now, though, is I'm worried. I'm worried, like I said, that chemistry is going to be messed up. They're not going to have home court advantage, which they struggle away, 10-9. And I feel like ultimately it could ruin this team's best chances at winning a title. Because I've already said, I feel like the best team in the East that can give the Nets a run for their money would be the 76ers fully healthy. But now that I feel like Embiid's out, I feel like the Nets are just slowly jumping over that gap and extending it more and more and more, as long as I feel like the 76ers aren't. Because the 76ers are probably the best defensive team in the East, if we're being real. Defensive-wise, they probably have the best defense in the East. So ultimately, maybe their defense will still be good, but I feel like their offense will take a toll by Embiid being out right now.
Yeah. I mean, it could probably hurt them, but I mean, I do think that a team that can beat the Nets is possibly the Heat. I don't want to fully get off track on the 76ers, but the Heat with Jimmy, oh my God. The Heat with Jimmy are just, oh my God. That's what the oh my God is. They're dirty. They're dirty with Jimmy. And I mean, the 76ers are nice, but the 76ers in the playoffs, I mean, the only one to where I think they had a chance to go all the way was with the Raptors. And when Kawhi hit that last second shot
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. They'll never.
They haven't really been
shot.
lucky at all, man.
No,
when
they
you talk
haven't.
about luck, they have had no luck.
Nothing.
You had the shot, you know what I'm saying? They've had no luck. And that was game 7 too.
We called this though. We called them being at this rank this year. We said, look, this is what they need to do. They need to get some shooters. They brought on, a couple amount of shooters that are pretty consistent that a lot of people forgot about that were in the NBA. And they're helping. And I just hope Embiid comes back healthy. He's brought a lot of energy back to the big man. It's been a minute since we had a big man like that that's unstoppable and entertaining. Coming into the league and also being an MVP candidate, of course, other than Anthony Davis. But Joel Embiid he's just entertaining with the way he trash talks, the way he plays the game. He brings a lot more energy to me through the big man size.
So it'll be really kind of interesting to see where they go. But I got to talk about that Heat thing you just said, man. Look, I like the Heat as well. They're playing great. They won 9 of their last 10. But the Heat are going to deal with that same problem that they faced last year when they faced the Lakers, when they faced a super team. You know what I'm saying? A team with multiple stars. They ultimately don't have the depth they need to compete truly. And I know they made it to the finals, but let's be real here. The East last season, that was light work. You know what I'm saying? They played the Pacers, no depth. They played the Raptors, no depth. They played the Bucks. Giannis was, on and off injury. Yeah. Then they faced the Lakers, or wait, was it? It was the Celtics. They faced the Celtics first. Now the Celtics, that was a good win. They pulled that out. I'll give them that. But then you face the Lakers, and the Lakers just they took that and ran with it. But I feel like that's a problem the Heat going to struggle with. And you're going to play somebody like the Nets. The Nets are going to outscore them every game.
I think
because I don't think the Heat have what it takes.
I don't know, because even
ultimately,
the Nets are my team, but I always get scared of the East playoffs because I feel almost because I'm an Ohio State's fan. I always get scared because it's almost like Ohio State making it to the college football playoffs. You know what I mean? You win the Big Ten, you go undefeated in the Big Ten, and then you start playing all these dominant teams that you don't ever have a chance to play during the regular season. Of course, these chances have a chance to play, but I'm like, it's a 7-game series, so it's not just a one and done. It's you got to win 7, you got to win 4 games consistently. And make sure that the West does not get started. That's the only thing that I get very scared about when it comes to the Eastern playoffs. When you have a team on the East that does good, because they get their heads a little bit bigger and they're like, oh, we're dominating all these East teams. We're about to do that when it comes to the playoffs. And then you get to the playoffs and you're like, whoa, you're facing Alabama of basketball right now. You're facing Clemson of basketball right now. You're forgetting you weren't over here. So that's the only thing. The West is so stacked that it almost prepares you. It almost overly prepares you for the finals. Just like in college football, the SEC teams are favored to win the college football title because they're so overly prepared from their conference that when it comes to the actual conference, it's too easy. It's butter. It's like I've been playing teams like this the whole year. This is butter, bruh. This is butter.
I think, like, to go off what you said about the East playoffs, and we talk about, being nervous for the Nets. I will sit here and continue to say right now that the Nets still need to add some defense to their team.
Oh, yeah.
But eventually, I feel like their offense is going to get too dominant to where that doesn't even matter. Right now, this is my finals favorite by far. And I like the Lakers. I'm talking about even with a healthy Lakers team. I'm talking about you're looking at a team that's 9-1 in their last 10. KD and Harden, Kyrie and Harden have some of the craziest chemistry right now. Even Harden with DeAndre Jordan building chemistry. And then you still got to think, even in about 1 to 2 weeks, KD's coming back to that mix.
Yep.
And that's a scary sight. And in the East, I see a lot of teams that are, could potentially, give them a scare or even compete slightly. But ultimately, I don't really see a team right now besides the Bucks. Maybe right now, we're talking right now, the Bucks as being really the only team that could actually strike some fear in the Nets. Other than that, if I'm the Nets, I'm sleepwalking. It's that, to me, that's how I'm looking at it. When we look at the East, now the West, that's something to be afraid of. The West is scary.
Yeah.
But right now for the East, it's just too easy, man. I'm like we were just saying, the 6th seed is the Charlotte Hornets. You know, if the playoffs started right now, Brooklyn would be playing the Nets. That's a sweep. That's 4. Nets and foe. Stop. It's Nets and foe. So ultimately, man, look, we can say the Nets should be afraid of the East. I'm not afraid of the East. If I'm the Nets, I'm afraid of the Lakers.
That's what I'm saying.
That's really
West,
all I'm
they need to be
of.
afraid of the West.
They
That's
need
what
to be
I'm
afraid of
of
the West.
Yeah.
Because the West is scary.
Right.
But the West could be even scarier if the Lakers get Andre Drummond.
Yeah, it can. I mean, I
Is
said
that a good
it.
transition?
I remember saying this, man. I actually called this. I called it. I said the Nets should have picked up Andre Drummond, and I thought the Lakers were going to get. I thought they were going to get Griffin, because Griffin can assert to the type of play, but it may not be good having 2 heavily ball dominant players on the same team with him and LeBron James. I don't know how that would work, but I think Drummond can. I mean, if they get Drummond on that team, oh my gosh! And you got Anthony Davis and then Andre Drummond in the paint.
But the craziest thing about this whole Andre Drummond, situation is that if the Cavaliers buy him out, he can sign wherever, and he can sign for whatever contract, similar to what Blake Griffin did. When does Blake Griffin even begin playing for the Nets? When does he start?
I think
he signed there like a week and a half ago, and he's still not playing.
I know that boy James.
I'm waiting on that.
That boy James, he probably got something going on that we don't know about.
Probably got to get his physical. It's probably harder, especially with COVID
you probably,
and
because I was gonna say that, but James came and started playing like
James
was
playing like 3 days later. Yeah, he was ready.
There was like, oh yeah, he's done, and then that boy took that fat suit off, and then, or as they say, he dropped 50 pounds within 2 to 3 days. I don't know. All I know is Griffin is injury prone. That's one thing that a lot of people forget, is he is injury prone. I just hope that this doesn't, blow up, because that he's emotional too.
The crazy thing is right now, but go back to that situation I said, if the Cavaliers buy out Andre Drummond, Andre Drummond could sign anywhere he wants for any contract. So it almost becomes a recruiting battle. And if you're Andre Drummond, let's be real here. Do you want to sign with the Lakers, or do you want to sign with the Nets? And Andre Drummond this is what Andre Drummond would bring to the Nets: defense, and he can put up 17, 15, at least 15 points per game. His points per game are going to go down.
Correct.
He's a great rebounder. He's a huge upgrade over DeAndre Jordan. If he can join this Nets team, which he can, because he can sign a deal to finish the season out, this could possibly be one of the most dangerous starting lineups we've ever seen. I'm talking about more dangerous than the Warriors.
And then
in 2017,
you have DeAndre. You have DeAndre come off the bench.
Coming off the bench. Yep.
I think that's too much. I don't think the Nets are going to be able to do that.
I think they can with the contract.
I don't think they're going to.
I'm even looking at it right now. It's the Lakers or the Nets. He's either going to the Lakers or the Nets. He's not going to pick any other team. Andre Drummond is 27. This man wants to compete. He's been playing for the Cavs for how long?
I don't know. I just really feel like he's going to go to the Lakers. I don't think he's going to go to the Nets.
It does make sense for him to go to the Lakers.
I think it's too much going on at the Nets. AD. I think it's too much going on at the Nets right now. If I'm Drummond, I'm looking at the Nets. I'm looking at the Lakers. I'm choosing the Lakers, even with the Nets as my favorite team. It would be nice for this year for them to choose them, and then maybe next year it might be nice. But I feel
like that would almost balance it out. Like if Andre Drummond signs with the Lakers, I feel like that would make both teams pretty balanced. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
I feel like that would add that would make the Nets and the Lakers almost equal right now. Because right now I have the Lakers the Nets having a slight edge with a fully healthy Lakers team.
I just feel
like
because
if the Lakers add Drummond, that kind of balances it. Like I wouldn't know what to expect.
I feel like the back office is feeling some type of way though because of DeAndre Jordan playing well. You know what I mean? He's not playing bad. So I think if he was playing bad, it would be more of a guaranteed, we need to get a big. But we have DeAndre Jordan. We have the Twin Towers. We got Griffin now. Why do we need somebody else? But they do. You know what I mean? Let's not say that they don't. I just think since he's playing good, they're not going to look at him. They're not going to look at him like that. Why am I going Jordan's and the chemistry between Jordan and James Harden and Kyrie right now is immaculate. Why am I going to bring on another player and then have to start all that over and we halfway through the season? Now I'm bringing my chemistry down because I got a big that's been balling out this season, doing his best that he can to get to the playoffs, and I got to put him on the bench. Or you have Drummond come off the bench, but I don't think they're going to do that. If you get Drummond, I think that's a guaranteed start.
Yeah, it's a guaranteed start. Like I said, 17 points per game. But that's on the Cavs team. He's what? When we talk about scores on the Cavs, we got about 2 other scorers on that team.
Yeah.
And then you got Andre Drummond. So I think on the Nets team, his role would change. He wouldn't become like a scorer anymore. You know, he'd be more of like a defensive paint beast.
Yep.
Because I'm telling you right now, still to this moment, the Nets are going to need somebody to guard AD. And Andre Drummond would be that guy. Andre Drummond is that guy. That makes the Nets the finals champions. But I like Andre Drummond right now to the Lakers because I feel like it balances it out a bit more and it gives both teams a realistic chance. I'm gonna say right now, I don't like super teams. I've already said this. I don't like it at all. I hate super teams in basketball because it makes it unwatchable.
That's fair.
But
that's fair.
Andre Drummond, unless he gets traded, which I doubt, he will get bought out and he will sign to a team for a lower contract
of course,
and allow them to compete. And I'm gonna tell you right now, most likely it is the Lakers.
It's the Lakers.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, the Nets are definitely on his mind, especially after they just got Blake Griffin, and it's very possible. And I'm seeing now that the Lakers saying that if they can't get Andre Drummond, they're gonna go to Hassan Whiteside.
Ooh.
So the Lakers have a backup plan.
Oh my God.
But
Hassan Whiteside on the Lakers.
That's not as great as Andre Drummond. It's still a great piece though, because he's so good defensively.
I'll take it.
If I was them, I'd take it right now with Andre Drummond. The Lakers have good depth, but they could get even better depth. You know what I mean? But having Hassan Whiteside, I would want Andre Drummond by far, and I mean by far. Their gap's closing though. That Lakers Nets gap could be closing with this.
Better hurry up.
They better hurry up because how long until the trade deadline? How far are we away from the trade deadline when we talk about basketball? About 2 weeks. Because I hear it's usually right after the All-Star game. Usually right. I think it's March 25th. So we got 10 days. 10 days. See what the Nets are thinking. See what the Lakers thinking, and see what the Cavs are thinking. But I'm gonna need the Cavs to go ahead and buy that contract out so Andre Drummond can get moving to a new city, Brooklyn or LA.
I mean, I'm gonna bring it back to the conversation that you were talking about earlier, and talking about them Charlotte Hornets. What's up, man? What's going on with this Rookie of the Year? You think LaMelo has secured the bag?
Before we started recording, you said you felt like Anthony Edwards deserved it, and I said that is BS.
I'm not saying over,
LaMelo
but I'm not saying over
it.
LaMelo. I'm not saying over. I said he can be up there to get it, right? Because they're both averaging 15 points per game. Where LaMelo, where LaMelo takes off is the assists and the rebounds. But I'm saying
and the consistency.
But I am gonna say this that. I am going to say that LaMelo does get a lot more hype than Anthony Edwards.
But I don't even think that's the problem, though.
I love LaMelo.
I don't even think that's the problem, though. And I don't know. Here's the thing. I love Anthony Edwards. You know how I feel about them Georgia boys, man.
Them Georgia boys are built different.
You know how I feel about them Georgia boys. I think the problem is that LaMelo's been way more consistent. And Anthony Edwards is a good problem, but I think you could be ignoring the fact that Anthony Edwards is not shooting as well as he needs to be. He needs to improve that a lot.
I mean,
and when I say a lot, I mean
kind of close on the shooting percentage.
I mean, I guess that brings us back. That brings us over to that consistency. Because I'm like, when Anthony Edwards has a basic game or a down game, shooting percentage wise, it's not looking good. And you say 31% from the three. I mean, that's not bad, but it's not good either. It could be a lot better.
I mean, as a rookie.
What was the other thing we were talking about? Because we were talking about something else that was even a bigger conversation. And you were talking about LaMelo. It had to be Anthony Edwards if LaMelo wasn't getting all the hype. And I'm like, being the rookie of the year, you're gonna get hype. Like it kind of brings me back to that Trae Young and Luka Doncic situation. Like how everyone was saying, like towards the second half of the season, the first half of the season was all Luka. From spring training to All-Star game, it was all Luka. Because remember, Luka was going to be an All-Star his rookie year. Yeah. He somehow didn't get it. He should have been an All-Star.
Yeah, because I remember Trae got it.
Mm-hmm. Trae didn't get an All-Star game.
Trae was an All-Star. Yeah, he was.
No, he was not.
Yeah, he was.
He was not.
Yes,
his
he was.
His rookie year.
Yes.
I don't think so, bro. I don't think so, bro. I don't think so about that, bro. Trae Young was an All-Star.
When was his rookie year?
What was it, 2016, 2017? I don't know about that one, Chief. I don't know about that one. But I'm gonna tell you, maybe he played in the Rising Stars game or something, but I don't think he was an All-Star, bro.
Yeah, no, that's my bad. They Luka and Trae were in the Rising All-Star, and then Trae was in the All-Star game, but it wasn't his rookie year. Because remember, Rising All-Star is like first 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
That's my bad. But that year, he was in the Rising Star and the All-Star.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't his rookie.
Let me get back on that reference. So you had Luka, who from spring training all the way till All-Star game, pure dominance, best rookie of the league. The second half of the season, however, it was Trae Young. Trae Young looked a lot better. Well, he didn't look a lot better, but he was playing a lot better. I'm talking, he was averaging like 30 in the second half of the season. And then everybody had that outcry. It was like, okay, well, it should be Trae Young. It should be Luka. It's kind of like how I feel right now. Maybe Anthony Edwards might start dominating the second half of the season, but I can't sit here and forget what LaMelo Ball did the first half of the season.
That's fair. I mean,
and like right now, I feel like at this point right now, I feel like honestly, LaMelo doesn't even have to play again, and I feel like he still would have it locked up.
That's cap. I mean, it's close, but right now, LaMelo's got it. If the season were to end today, LaMelo's 100% got it. But I mean, this is what we've been saying since the beginning of the year. I was just saying Anthony has a chance if he does what you said, brings up the consistency of it, and LaMelo doesn't keep his consistency, because LaMelo's got his consistency, which is why it's hard to take over.
It's gotten even better though.
Yeah, it's gotten better.
Especially when he started starting. So looking at that too.
I mean,
and then we're talking about like
I'm looking
at honestly as well. I'm looking at Emmanuel Quickley as well, because Emmanuel Quickley is that you know what I'm saying, that random player from the not New York, but from Kentucky. It seems like every year in the draft, there's a player from Kentucky who just shines his rookie year, who's an absolute stud. It happens every year. Devin Booker.
Year. It won't happen next year.
It won't happen next year? Oh my God. I am telling you. We got Tyler Hero, underutilized at Kentucky, gets to the NBA, dominates. Emmanuel Quickley now. Yeah, Devin Booker a while back. It's just it's a never ending loop. It just keeps happening, bro. And then we got Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey was Kentucky.
Oh, we was talking about James Wiseman. That's what we were talking
about James Wiseman, because James Wiseman completely disappeared. I haven't seen him in so long.
Last time I saw him, Draymond was coaching.
Draymond Green was talking to him. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh boy, bro, that's the last.
I mean,
time.
that doesn't mean he's not playing good though, because I remember at the beginning of the season he was playing great.
I mean,
so I don't know where he stands now.
It's hard to be a big rookie on a team that is not as successful as they're normally getting on the West. It's hard to be, completely dominant. You know what I mean? Like LaMelo's on Charlotte. Charlotte needs him. It's not like he's on the Lakers. You know what I mean? He's on a ball dominant team to where they shoot. And
he also didn't play. He didn't play basketball last year as well. So
and that's what
he's
I mean.
Still trying to get that.
But I'm
back
saying
in,
like they got Steph Curry on the team. If you're hearing about the Warriors, you're not hearing about James Wiseman. You're hearing about Steph Curry. You're hearing about the shooting. You're not. I mean, unless he's smacking threes like Steph Curry, you're probably not going to hear about him as much. But it's a big man. That's a rookie. You know, last time we heard about the big man, I guess you could say Zion, but he was also on the Pelicans, a team that needs players.
Right.
The Warriors boys just don't play big man.
Talking about shooting threes, he's shooting 38% from beyond the arc.
Yeah, I don't care.
Oh my God. This guy.
You know, we see how that's doing the Warriors. The Warriors just beat your number one team, boy. Them Utah Jazz, bro. That's a problem.
My number one team.
I'm just kidding. I mean, the number one team, you know, the West.
My number one team.
I just said I'm just kidding. Come on, bro. Stop. Don't repeat what I just said.
The Warriors aren't even in the playoffs right now, Chief. You need to get your team.
Aren't they ranked 9th?
Yeah, something like that.
All I'm saying is if the Warriors are beating
I don't know,
Utah,
but
I'm telling you, the Utah boys is not going good in the playoffs, man. It's just not happening. It's not happening, man.
They've also been struggling recently, but they still got a 2.5 game lead over the.
I mean, they choked last year.
You think the Lakers, when they get AD back, they coming back, they storming that back, they bringing it back?
You what?
You think the Lakers gonna take number one seed when AD comes back?
I mean, it depends when he comes back. At this point, I think LeBron is almost telling them. I think LeBron's telling them because LeBron sees how this goes. Hey, we good. Sit the season out and make sure when you come back, it's 100% healthy. If I'm the Nets, Klay Thompson come back too early and get injured. Take your time because you're only going to make the injury worse. Kevin Durant, you saw what happened when he did that. He did that. He came out. He didn't even have to come out. He shouldn't have come out. Everybody knows it. His doctor told him he shouldn't have come out. Klay Thompson came out too early. Just take the rest of the season. We're good. I'm good. Look, I don't care.
You're talking about that. That's how I'm looking at KD right now. I'm like, look, you see how that team's looking without him.
Sit it out.
They still need to build. They need to build that chemistry with him though.
You're right. Right now, but we can do that in practice. Having no problem
because we haven't seen Harden, Kyrie, and KD for only about 3 or 4 games.
Yeah,
so we haven't really seen that full potential.
Even when James got there, you wasn't seeing it because either Kyrie wasn't playing, or Kevin wasn't playing, or James wasn't playing. And I think they're doing that on purpose. I almost think they're doing it on purpose.
I don't think they'd be doing it on purpose.
I mean, not right now, of course.
But I do think they're being patient with KD because of his injury history.
They're telling them,
Steve
bro.
Nash getting them boys right. Is he getting them right, or did he just fall into a gold mine? Is he getting them right, or is he just in a gold mine?
I don't know. I mean, we was talking about James going to Brooklyn before. You know what I mean? Before this season even started. Only thing is the season started, James didn't go there. So, Jesus, I mean, I think this was planned out. I think Mike was planned out. As soon as Mike left, that boy talked to James and was like, look, it's time to go.
He's like, yeah, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. And I think we talked about that on an early segment of James. I feel like James wanted to leave Houston because they got rid of Mike D'Antoni. I feel like James really had a good relationship with Mike D'Antoni. And then when they fired him, it just kind of like ruined all that.
That's a coach that made an offense around you, which is why you never won a playoff on the conference final. But it's cool.
He never won a conference final because they were going against the Warriors, potentially with one of the greatest rosters we've ever seen.
Check out that problem with
offensively.
No. Check out that problem with on Houston Rockets and find out why the Warriors beat the Rockets by 8 points when they went about 8 for 44 at the 3-point line. Can you just imagine if we just passed out of any of those 40 times? Come on, man. 8 points, 4. Come on, man. I can't. I don't even want to start talking about that.
Problem with on the channel.
All I'm saying is everybody that has an injury that is secured, you need to be smart. Come back the last 2 or 3 games. It was I think it happened last year. Who got hurt last year in the playoffs? Was it Anthony Davis?
No, I think you're talking about Giannis, bro.
No, somebody got hurt last year.
Or was it the 76ers with Ben Simmons? But
I don't know. And I'm not thinking right. But somebody got hurt. I think the Warriors have done this once, where Steph Curry got hurt, and they were so good that Steph Curry just took his time to come back, and he came back in like the second or third round and just started dominating. You guys got to take your time when your team is up so far ahead and you have an injury and you're injury prone. You got to take your time because Muggs be rushing so hard. I think LeBron's really talking to him because, LeBron is, he's Terminator. He doesn't get hurt.
Now, if I'm the Lakers, look, I know we got a playoff spot clinched, but I need AD back. I need to get us to get that chemistry back. If I'm the Lakers, I can't let him sit out. I need him back as soon as possible. Yeah. However, his injury is one of the more like serious because it's that Achilles. Yeah. So it's something you got to like look out for. But
if you come back, you can mess up something else.
He can completely mess it up, and you don't want to do that because that's a lot of time missed. And if I'm the Lakers, maybe we'll have Andre Drummond and we can let him rest a little bit more.
You're right.
But that's something we're gonna have to look into. But this has been the Sports Junkies Podcast. What was this, episode 3 of the NBA on the Sports Junkies?
The real Sports Junkies Podcast. Excuse me.
The real Sports Junkies. Yeah, we got some imposters. Seems like it. We got some imposters. We got some competition. All right, we got some competition now. So, but it's all love. Or is it? This has been the Sports Junkies Podcast on the NBA. We look forward to hearing from you guys. Appreciate the support we got on the Myers Leonard video.
Hey, keep the comments coming in too. We do like
those comments coming in. Let us know what you're thinking.
I don't agree with what he said about Kyrie Irving, but keep them coming in, man. Keep them coming in. We do love it. We love reading the responses. We love knowing what you guys think because it gives us something to debate. We're going to start bringing some people on. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Get those rolling, bruh. Until then,
let's get it.
That's it. Make sure you turn on that notification bell, buddy. Let's go.